I have a feeling this is probably the most important of all his trips. Continued escalation, the violence itself, the brutality in Gaza, the regional threat spreading throughout the region. So essentially, the administration was compelled to send him. This campaign by Israel has taken too long from an American perspective. It has not achieved the intended result. It's beginning to harm U.S. national interests. And therefore, they saw the need to embark on this diplomatic initiative. The main purpose of the trip is to prevent this conflict in Gaza from going way beyond the Gaza borders and involve other parts of the region. We've seen unilateral requests from the U.S., which is Israel's main supporter and funder and arms supplier in this war, and yet no response from the extremist government in Israel. On the contrary, challenges from specific ministers in the government, essentially ignoring American request and telling the U.S. to get lost, that they are an independent country and they will not listen to U.S. requests or demands. It reached such a crescendo this time that the administration is beginning to feel it. Maybe because we're approaching presidential elections, maybe because it's beginning to affect key areas in the region, particularly commercial maritime movement in the Gulf. It's affecting relations with Turkey. It's affecting relations with Yemen. It is threatening eruption of violence in Lebanon. And so the administration felt compelled, in light of all of these, plus add to that the damage done domestically here to the Democratic Party and to the president as a candidate, probably forced him to move this time and take this trip a little bit more seriously. Whether the results will prove that remains to be seen, even after the rather forthcoming, unprecedented, I would say, press conference that we saw and heard the Secretary of State talk in language we haven't heard in a long, long time. If you want to have peace in the region, if you want to have, that this talk about the day after and essentially creating an environment in the region that is kind of progressive and changes the atmosphere in the region, that requires a lot of investment from an administration that is too distracted and too weak. So it's very hard for me to be optimistic, although I welcome the change in tone.